Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Anchorstar Wealth Market Update. I'm your host, Allison Anchorstar, and today we'll be talking about the Super Bowl recap, the Any Day Now invasion of Ukraine, and how the Black Rifle IPO is doing. But before we begin, as a reminder, this is a financial education presentation and should not be construed as personal financial advice. Full disclaimer information is available at anchorstarwealth.com. Good morning, Steve. The Los Angeles Rams are the Super Bowl champions, and the Super Bowl ads this year were even stranger than normal. What's your take on the $14 million Coinbase ad?
Yeah, I would have to say that Coinbase ad took the cake. But first of all, we'll get back to that in a second. First of all, congratulations to the Rams. I mean, what a fantastic year. Bengals, a little bit of heartbreak, after coming so far, especially with the expectations being as low as they were kind of at the beginning of the season. What a year for them. So fantastic, and congrats to both teams. And of course, it was great that we had a great game. Overall, I thought it was a great Super Bowl, not only from the game perspective, but the entertainment, the halftime show I liked. It was kind of it was great to see some of the old school, the original gangsters, if you will, the hip hop cadre. It was kind of tough to tell what Kendrick Lamar was doing. He kind of made me flash back to the weekend when he was walking through those flashing lights. It's like, what's he doing? And then Mary J. Blige, it was a little tough with the change of vibe when she went off into the ballad portion of the show when everything else was like super high energy. But overall, I think it was a great a great show, and it was good to see that it was so well received out there. As far as the ads, the ridiculousness of the Coinbase ad, I think, took the cake. That's the wrong screen. Let me get the correct one to you here. So, all right. So, we got Coinbase pulled up here. If you're not familiar with Coinbase, it is the if you will, the cryptocurrency exchange, if you will, that stood up. And, I liked Coin initially. COIN's a ticker. It's kind of tough, though, because they charge a 2% fee in and out. So it's like, really, how are they? That's a lot of fees for folks. I think somebody's going to do it cheaper. But we'd kind of heard that the Super Bowl was going to be dominated by sports betting and cryptocurrencies. Like, okay, well, we'll see what the ads hold. And I don't think anybody expected to see if you didn't see the ad, basically a QR code floating around the screen for 30 seconds, maybe seemed like longer. They spent $14 million on this ad. And then I read somewhere else it actually crashed their website because so many people were going at the same time. So I was at a small venue, and the 12 to 14 of us here at this Super Bowl party, here in the neighborhood. And of course, one of the folks said, you know what, I'll do it. So put his phone up, captured the QR code, and he's like, oh, it's Coinbase. And, then basically moved on with our lives from there. And of course, at the end of the ad, you saw the Coinbase thing pop up. So I don't know. I think the jury's out on whether that ad spend is going to be worth it or not. I think if you're into crypto, you already know about Coinbase, right? And you know about all the other options that you have out there. So overall, I can't imagine that the $14 million for Coinbase was worth the money.
Also, the National Security Advisor again said that Russia could invade Ukraine any day now. Is the stock market bracing for impact?
Well, we talked about this a little while ago, and it's funny that he used the exact same words, right? So, I pull up the SPY and I pull up the all chart, which is a lot. So let's 2014 though, if you can see this, I know it's a little bit small print, but 2014's in here. Really, nothing happened during the 2014 invasion, where they actually invaded in Crimea. I'm not sure exactly how that's pronounced, but they annexed that portion of Ukraine. But really, the market didn't react. What did react, like we talked last time, is oil prices. Oil prices went, skyrocketing during that time. They're skyrocketing now. They're almost at $100 when you take a look at things. And I'm pulling up a chart on another screen here. So oil's up, and can't find my screen. There we go. Oil's up. So if you're going to trade this at all, I would trade, oil, which Dig and Doug are the two things that I tend to, I don't really trade oil myself, but if somebody's like, how do you do it? That's how you do it. Dig and Doug. But switching over to where we are with the market, we had two big down days nice recovery. Bottom was in, two big down days on Thursday and Friday. And we're talking about inflation. We're talking about Fed rates. And yeah, we had the Biden Putin phone call last week, which didn't produce much of anything, as far as anybody can tell, as far as a resolution. There's kind of a 48-hour mandate out right now, to see if something happens in the next 48 hours. So you can catch all that from mainstream news if you want to, follow that. But overall, the big picture with the market is today is kind of flopped around pre-market a little bit. We can look on this chart, the SPYs all the way to the left here. You can see it was down big and then kind of moved up. And then the Federal Reserve's Bullard was talking this morning about aggressive moves and raising rates, so that kind of made the market move down. So I think today could go either way. I thought after two big red days that we would have a nice green day today, but so far it hasn't quite set up like that. So overall, I think there's more factors that are in play, whether Russia invades Ukraine or not, that's going to drive the market in this particular situation where we're at.
Last question. The Black Rifle Coffee Company had their IPO last week and is up 68%. Can this continue?
Well, I tell you, it's been a great ride, right? And not everybody was in it because the risk is pretty high. So depending on your particular account and stuff like that, at least for folks that are investing with me. But you can see this is the Black Rifle over here on the third screen, and it's up to 16.3 this morning, and it IPO'd right around the $10 mark. Well, when you really look at Black Rifle long term, I think you have to like the model. We'll switch over here to CNBC. Yeah, you kind of have to like the model, right? It's a subscription based service, subscription based coffee, kind of a stuff, as well as it has retail. You can pick it up at like Bass Pro Shops. They have the energy drink types. They have storefronts that are going into Texas. They have a strong veteran backing. They also have, they lean right politically, so they balance Starbucks depending on your politics. But there's a lot to like about this company as far as it really gaining ground at this particular moment in time. A little bit of a proxy for politics, like I alluded to, but we do have an election coming up. So, the far right, extremes get more extreme every year, it seems, but certainly folks that are on the extreme right will probably pile into this name is what I think will happen here. But as far as what should you do, if you're in it, we're just going to hold it. You do have to kind of let these things flop around for a bit. While they price discover, right? So don't really know where it's going to end up. I do think that if it hits 20 and you have a large position, you should probably sell a little bit, because that would be a double. So take a little bit off the table. We saw some other IPOs, Palantir, Asana, go do really well and then sell off, or sell off and then do really well. We saw DraftKings go through the roof and then come all the way back down. So I think if it hits 20, you take a little bit off the table. But if you're not in it right now, I think you need to hold off and adopt a wait and see attitude to try to get a little better entry point on Black Rifle.
Thank you, everyone, for your questions. Please submit your questions as a comment through social media or directly to our email at vipservices@anchorstarwealth.com. That's all we have for today's show. I'm Allison Anchorstar, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.